Hello, Kaleidoscope kids. Welcome to our last week of podcasting. Can you believe it? We're at the end. This week, week 4, we are going to be recording and creating episode 1 of our podcasts. So far, we've created, written, and revised all of our work, and hopefully this week you have come ready to record. A couple of tips and tricks that I'd like to go over with you. The first thing is to remember to make it engaging. We want it to be something that people want to listen to and they're going to come back to. So make sure that we're speaking with clear voices and we're speaking in a way that are going to make people want to listen. Another thing to remember is to use inflection when you're reading. We don't want it to sound like you're just reading something like a script with no inflection. We want it to sound like a story. So I have an example here that I'm going to read you. It's a passage, it's nonfiction about chess. So I'm going to read it first without any inflection, and then I'm going to go and read it a second time with inflection. See if you can hear the difference. Some people think that chess is more than a game. They think that it makes the mind stronger. Good chess players use their brains. They take their time. They think about what will happen next. These skills are useful in life and in chess. Chess is kind of like a workout for the mind. Okay, so in this example, I read it without any inflection. Do you see how it sounded a little bit dull, maybe even boring? Now listen to this. I'm going to read it with inflection, and it's going to sound much more interesting. Some people think that chess is more than a game. They think that it makes the mind stronger. Good chess players use their brain. They take their time. They think about what will happen next. These are useful skills in life and in chess. Chess is kind of like a workout for the mind. So you can see there, I just changed my voice just a little bit to make it sound really interesting and fun, and something that people might like to listen to. So that's something I'd like to challenge you to do when you're recording your podcast, is to use inflection when you're reading. Okay, we don't want it to sound like we're just reading off of a script. We want it to sound natural and fun. That's what's going to make people want to listen. Another thing is for those of you that are making a fictional podcast, I would like to encourage you to try to use voices for the different parts. So if you have maybe a couple of different characters or different parts, try to have different voices for each character. It'll make it easier for the reader to follow and it'll make it more interesting. Number 3, try to stay still if you can. I know this is a hard one. I struggle with it too. I like to talk with my hands and with my body, but sometimes when we're recording, it can be a distraction. So I think if you try to stay a little bit more still, it might help you focus a little bit better, and might make that podcast a little bit better. If you can, I know that we're in a school setting, and so we might have some different, some students in different areas, but if you can, try to record in a quiet room. The audio will sound much better. It'll be easier for your audience to listen to. And lastly, do a practice run before recording. Or you can make multiple recordings and then choose the best one. But I think that this is something that takes a little bit of practice the first time. So it might be good to do just a quick practice run, try it out, see how things you might like to change or something like that, and then do your recording. Okay, so now I'm going to discuss where can we record this podcast. Okay, we've been working. There are a couple of options, and I've shared them all with your school coach, and they might have an option that they think will work better for your school. So remember, we have a couple different schools here, and all of you have different sharing and different access. So there might be one that's better Or if you really prefer one, maybe it's an option that you could record it at home on either, your parents' computer or on their phone or something like that. That would be an option as well, but only if they say it's okay. So I'm going to share with you all the options, but again, your coach might have a preference. So this is just a discussion that you might need to have with them. The first one that I'm going to share with you, let me move this over here, is called Anchor. Oh, it's making me log in. It is by Spotify. Oh, it's not letting me log in. And this one is an ideal one if you are able to use it. Oh, somehow I've lost my, oh, here we go. This is what it looks like. You do have to create an account, and you can create really cool podcasts here. However, this one can be a little bit more challenging. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, but if you're interested in this and you really want to keep your podcast going and you want to keep making more, this is something that maybe you could look into, but it might need to be after school. So I wanted to share this resource with you, but know that it might not be the best for your school project. Another option for making your podcast is to use Screencastify. This is the program that I'm using to make this video right now. Only I'm using it with video and with audio. You can choose to make it with just the audio function, so you would end up with an audio file. It will save right to your Google Drive. You do need to add this as a Google extension. So talk to your coach if that's something that they can help you with, if you would like to use this option. Another option is that I have I have a Flipgrid here that you could use. You could just turn off the video and just do audio right here. You've got 10 minutes of record time and you can record your podcast right in Flipgrid. I think this will probably be the easiest way. So if you are, struggling and you're like, boy, I don't know about Screencastify or Anchor, this is probably the most ideal way to record it. You just come over here and just record the audio. Okay. And lastly, if for some reason the Flipgrid's not working, you can always submit this in Buzz. So right here, we have an audio function in Buzz. You have to allow it to use your microphone. And then right here, I am recording an audio in Buzz. When I click stop, I can insert that right in there. The only thing with this option is that it only lets you record for 3 minutes. So you might have to make multiple files, but that would be okay. All right. So a couple of different options I wanted to share with you. Again, I think the Flipgrid is probably going to be the easiest, but it's up to your school coach to help you figure that out. Okay. I hope that you have an awesome time recording your podcast. I am over the moon excited to listen to these. I absolutely cannot wait. I hope that you all have an awesome week. And next week, we're going to be starting a brand new project. It's going to be so much fun. I'll see you then.